SBF just can't get his story straight after getting arrested yesterday, which many people thought, wow, how is he not arrested yet? Bernie Madoff was in handcuffs within 24 hours, and everyone's got their conspiracy theories, they've got their real theories, they've got everything that's going on, right? Some people are closer to the inside as others. As we know, some animals are more equal than others. All animals are equal, but some more than others. And again, is this the reason why? It's very conspicuous, very a coincidence that SBF is arrested, Sam Bankman-Fried, the day before he's supposed to testify in Congress with his buddy Maxine Waters leading the charge and leading the questioning. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I hate to laugh, but again, like if you can't laugh, you're going to cry with all this stuff. And as we know, though, Jim Rickards says in Bayesian forecasting, and he's done a lot with the Pentagon and the CIA and things like that over time. It's hard when you only have one data set or things like that, and you're trying to extrapolate things out with only one data set, and there's no pattern or something like that. But what he says is you cannot ignore, don't disregard a coincidence, right? When it was a million coincidences, then again there's smoke, there's fire somewhere. So at the end of the day, we can't be disregarding. I think that so many people don't use their intuition. Bob Proctor talks about using our higher faculties, right? We have 6 higher faculties: will, intuition, reason, perception, memory, and imagination. And we don't use those enough, right? We aren't using our gut, our intuition to really know what's going on. I mean, when things smell funny, they look funny, and they walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it probably is a duck. Whether it was the last 2.5 years and people think, something's not right, but still just going with it, right? Well, our leaders have their best, their best, goodwill at heart, and things like that. No, they don't. The founding fathers of this country knew, after researching, in studying and reading for thousands of years of data and history, seeing, oh wow, government just attracts the worst kind of people. That's all it does. Hence why they gave us a government with a ton of restrictions for government, right? It was limited government. It gave power to the people, gave power to the states and locales, municipalities, and then made a state. And then the federal government was kind of like there, kind of like the afterthought, I guess, right? Long story short. This is the problem. Bad people generally try to accrue more power. It's been, in the course of human history, this is how it always happens, right? People are inherently good, but when the incentives align, and you can fool yourself into believing a lie over and over and over again, right? You become that lie. You then believe that lie. So when things are lined up, when things are very hard to be a bad person, it doesn't make sense to be a bad person, people just are generally just good people because they are good people inherently. Humans are good beings inherently. However, when you have incentives aligned to, maybe skirt this or skirt that or screw people over there and make it easier to do that, incentivize people to do that, it makes it easier for people to play that game, let's just say. So again, CZ and Sam, they're feuding, they're fighting, and I'm not going to speculate what they're going to, what they said, what was happening over the last 6 months and in the last year. There's people that think that these things are crashing a year ago, these crypto exchanges and these Ponzi's, and this was going on. They've just been trying to pick up the pieces and kind of catch all the falling plates over the last year or so. So again, people. Again, when these things are happening on both sides of the aisle, right, red and blue here in America, and there's big stories that break, you have to kind of look and say, okay, whoa, what's happening that they don't want us to see? That again is the point of this channel. What are they doing that doesn't let us see, and what are they trying to distract us from? And this is kind of the charade that things are going on. I mean, SBF is going on a media blitz over the last month. I mean, it's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And in CZ, now they're investigating CZ, right? They were talking about, oh, we're going to buy each other out, or FTX is going to get bought out by CZ, and he's like, no, not doing that. And so there's all kinds of articles in the last month about that. However, now all of a sudden SBF's about to testify, and he's about to go and he gets arrested the day before he's about to testify. And now all of a sudden, after a month of that happening, now Binance is under scrutiny, and now Binance is being hit with all kinds of possible legal repercussions for, again, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to sit here. You can research on your own what's going on. But again, quick Google searches, and you can see that, this is right now, Binance in the last 12 hours have seen massive withdrawals. Over the last week, they've seen massive withdrawals. And so they're halting the withdrawals. This is never a good thing. At the end of the day, again, when there's smoke, there's fire. What's happening? Why is SBF just parading around? They're letting him kind of do whatever. Then all of a sudden he's arrested at the moment he's about to testify. Again, don't disregard coincidence, right? Everyone just chalks up. We don't use our intuition enough as human beings. We're God's highest form of creation. We have the most power. The brain is the most powerful system, complex system ever created, ever seen in this universe. And we don't use that. We don't use our gut. We don't use our intuition. We just say, oh, you know what? It just is coincidence. Oh, it's just luck. Is it? Like I'm not there. I'm not in the Bahamas getting arrested, right? You're not. So like that'd be coincidence. Like if I was in the Bahamas and I just got arrested, but I had nothing to do with anything, that'd be a coincidence. I'd be like, oh wow, that's just must be a coincidence, But like again, when there's smoke, there's fire. When you're on stage with certain people and you're doing certain things and you're palling around with certain people, you're giving certain people money. Let's be real here. What are we doing at the end of the day? So Binance now in trouble. And CZ, people out here like, don't spread the FUD. And they're like, oh, things are okay, blah, blah, blah. Good. There should be bank runs. This is a purification test, a free market. If you aren't operating, this actually really ticks me off. Like as a business owner and having struggled and having done really well and seeing like how hard it is, obviously, to run a business, right? And be an investor and try to make payroll and try to actually do what's good for the company and make money. To see, people like this who just scam the system and are destroying the system for the rest of the good actors. Then what does it do? Communism, central banking, all these things, Marxism, it lends people to cheat the system even more. And then government, because government lets people cheat even more and the rules and regulations that we already have aren't followed well and it's completely, just debauched, then it incentivizes even more bad actors and people to do even more bad things and skirt the laws and not pay taxes and all these things because they're like, well, you know what, that person's doing it, then why am I getting screwed over here? This is a problem when we have different tier justice systems, when we have a corrupt money that then flows down and corrupts everything else in society. This is why we beat the Bitcoin hammer all the time, the Bitcoin drum, because when you fix the money, you fix the world is one of the sayings of Bitcoin. And again, it doesn't fix every single thing. We're still humans, but it's going to fix so much of this corruption that just trickles down throughout society and incentivizes bad behavior. Again, in Bitcoin, we say Bitcoin aligns incentives. It aligns peace and prosperity and wealth building, wealth accrual instead of your wealth being deteriorated. This is insanity. If you're a good company, you should say, come on at me. Bring it on. Let's go. I mean, we did our due diligence as companies in real estate for the last 10 years. Cool. Let's go. Let's talk it out. I've got my receipts. I got my stuff. I'm not rugging people. I'm not rug pulling people. I'm doing what's right. I'm doing what's right for myself, my family, my customers, my employees, my investors. That's how it works. Now, when you're, halting withdrawals, that right there, if you had everything, you wouldn't have to halt them. Period. So again, Bankman arrested. We have the narrative being spun. You can see just article after article, obviously, and people trying to put FTX, the Ponzi on Bitcoin and things like that. Bitcoin is TikTok next blocks, doing its thing perfectly without fail, and it's doing it as it should. And these garbage companies, these Ponzi's, these grifters and rent seekers, they should be gone. They should be in jail. Many of them, they should be out of business, gone, not hurting the regular person, because the regular person is now not getting the ability to experience Bitcoin, many people, because they've been led over into other areas, other altcoins, scam coins, all this garbage going on. So this is massive news within 24 hours. Again, we have Binance with halting withdrawals, we have SBF being arrested. Massive things are here, and it's only just begun, maybe. So again, if you like this, guys, please subscribe, like and subscribe to the channel. Please share it if you know someone that would appreciate this, or maybe not. If you don't, please dislike it and put it in here what you don't like, and we can then go over it and battle it out in the comments. And please let us know your thoughts either way, so we can know what kind of content we want to be talking about and what we want to converse on. And like I said, at the end of the day, we want to be asking why, question everything boldly. Even the existence of God himself, right? For if there is a God, surely he will appreciate actual education over blindfolded fear. Appreciate your time. It's the most important asset we have. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bitcoin is time. Time is Bitcoin. Remember, make a fair trade for yourself. It's the only other finite thing I know of besides time is Bitcoin. Don't go keep trading your finite time for infinite pieces of paper or infinite digits. That's not a fair trade for yourself. I don't want you losing at the end of the day. See you on the next one.